Hello, here we are, week 221. So we'll start with the sad note. Actually, we won't. We'll start with a bit of fish feeding. Otherwise, they won't shut up. Just grab a pot. Oh, Christ. Right. Yeah, so I've lost a fish. It's been a long time since I've lost a fish, and not in this display tank. I lost, what are they? Crocodile pipefish, which not a huge surprise really, but still not ideal. So there's a picture of it, and as you can see, probably the last 50 mil of its tail has been degloved because it stuck it in the power head. I don't know whether that was intentional, because they do tend to grab, they like the cables to wrap round, and I've pulled him away from the power head a couple of times before. He seemed to have enough strength to swim away if he really needed to, but I just came in, was it yesterday? No, this morning. Oh, I came in yesterday I came in and the power head had stopped spinning because his tail was stuck in it, and I managed to undo the power head and get him out, but I noticed that the end of the tail was kind of stripped. I put him in the sump because obviously I thought he will not encounter any power heads down there, but there's no light down there, so I'm back to having to keep the door open, so it's a pain. It didn't look good. I thought I would probably end up euthanizing it because he wasn't eating and he just looked very rough. So today I was going to come out and see how he looked. If he was still very lethargic and not eating, I was just going to clove oil him and be done with it, but he was already dead, so I didn't have to make that decision. So yeah, they are not a good fish for 99% of tanks because they can't get away from a power head really. I mean, I guess it's very similar to just keeping seahorses. You need to have a tank with lots of holdfasts for them to wrap that prehensile tail around. You need to have very gentle flow. Ideally, I guess you just have a weir and a return as your flow, and no power heads in the tank at all. But like I said, I inherited that fish. I wouldn't have bought it because I don't think it's suitable for most tanks. I mean, the other pipefish now, I've got the blue striped pipefish. I've had the Jansen plain pipefish in a mixed reef tank before. They're just much more adept at swimming, it seems, and getting away from the current of the power head, like the intake side. So anyway, that's where we are. So I've lost that chap. So I never feel good about losing things. It makes me think whether I should have done something different or maybe just not taking it to start with. But we are where we are. So everything else is fine. So yeah, I won't be getting any more of those unless I decide to set up a tank. It's very similar actually to the Cassiopeia, the upside down jellyfish. They are the same. I tried everything to keep that. It was in a similar tank to that size, a 170. So it's like a 2-foot cube, I guess, whatever they are. And I had one power head on the lowest setting I could get. It was just the gentlest of currents you could possibly create. I put a mesh over the power head and secured it, zip tied it to try and stop it. And for weeks it would sit on the bottom as they do, just photosynthesizing. They kind of pulse upside down. And then after like 4 weeks, I come in and its legs into the power head just being blended. I managed to pull it off. Like the Medusa part, the top part, the jellyfish was still intact. And over the course of probably another 6 weeks, it grew all its legs back, and then it went straight back in the power head again and blended itself until it actually damaged the Medusa. It was all like big ragged lumps and it didn't recover. So Yeah, certain things, it doesn't matter, I don't think, what you do. You kind of a power head in the tank. So live and learn, don't you? Right, so what else? I have my green tubing, which is 912, so that's 9 internal, 12 external diameter millimeters, which fits on the PMUP pump, and I have got 3 meters. Should be more than enough. And at some point this week, I can then start working out how to pump the liquid food up into the tank. My thinking is I'm going to come up, zip tie this to my return pipe. I've got 40mm return pipe in that corner that comes up and then goes into the tank. So I'm going to zip tie it to that and then come up and over the tank, because obviously that has got to be clear of the surface of the tank, and it's also somehow got to get under the cover without raising it up too much so that the fish jump out, basically. Not worried about most of those fish, but the amphibs get a bit jumpy at times, and the Lanardi wrasse gets very jumpy. So I just need to make sure that it's still close enough to the top of the tank that I don't lose fish. So that'll be something I'll do this week, and then it's just a matter of working out the timing for the pump to be on to get the food into the tank and how much. I'm not expecting it to be difficult, really. It's going to be quite simple, probably, half hour to work that out, and that'll be done. And I think, what have I done? I'm trying very unsuccessfully to find some NoPhos, which is it's made by a company called Dryden, based in Edinburgh, but bizarrely, I think they're Edinburgh and Switzerland, I think it is. So the guy who owns the company is a PhD who did water filtration and done a lot of marine biology stuff. It's quite interesting, but I can't actually find any of their products in the UK. There seems to be quite a lot in Europe, but they either won't ship it, or the shipping is just, I've got a quote at £120 for the 5 litre container of NoPhos, 120 euros, and then 175 euros to post it. I was like, doesn't really make any financial sense. So yeah, there is a company here that does sell it, but they are out of stock, and they've been out of stock for months. It says available on back order. Don't really know what that means. I guess I could contact him, but yeah. So that I've tried that for the last few weeks to source, because I only want 5. Well, ideally I want a litre, but 5 litres I guess would last me a long time. So yeah, unsuccessful with that, and I am doing my usual Monday water change. All the lights are still working. I have one of the smart plugs, the Wi-Fi plugs you buy. I buy the Tapo ones. It's lost connection, so I need to do that later as well. It's a pain. I don't know why they lose connection, but anyway, I have to unplug it, walk it over, because the router point is over there. So I have to walk over there, connect it, and then plug it back in, and then it works. One of those things. But I put those on because the lights are very untrustworthy. So even though they are much better on that MXM Wi-Fi module, they still occasionally stay on or come on at random times. And if I'm in bed or I'm out or something and I check the camera and there's a random light on, I can just switch them off with the smart plugs. They're in sets of 4, so I just, whatever one is on, I'll just kill that set of 4, and then I worry about it the next day. And it seems to be working quite well, but lo and behold, because I've only got 4 sets of 4, I've got the odd one which isn't on the smart plug, and a couple of nights ago, yeah, it was on. So I have to come out, unplug it, reset it, plug it back in again, and it resets, and then it kind of seems happy. But I still don't know what causes that, but yeah. Other than that, I have made up some new magnesium. I'm still dosing, I think it's 200 ml a day into this tank, and I have been doing that for months actually. 200 ml a day, yeah, got to be 2 months, 3 months even, yeah. I mean, the montes down here, you can't really, you probably can see that, but it's got to be 1.5 feet across in the plate, and it's just starting to get a scroll in the middle. You know, it has that bright green growth edge on it. I mean, it's absolutely huge, but it's right over the back of the tank. I mean, at some point this year, it's going to touch the back pane of glass. So then I guess I'll snap some off and see if it grows up the glass or not. But yeah, everything else is doing all right, other than my Goni. It's a different Goni to the one that sulked for ages. Remember the one that the powder blue used to just constantly take chunks out of? So I don't know whether he's changed flavours and moved to the one in front of it, but that's been in there for, what's that, 2 years, year and a half, something like that, doing fine. And then it just looks like, I mean, it's weird. The top part, because there's like the main head on the top, and then it's got 3 very smaller heads at the bottom. The ones at the bottom look fine, all out, happy, normal colour. The big one on the top is just all retracted, and it's been like that for several days. So I don't know whether it's, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know whether it's something taking chunks out of it. I mean, the powder blue does do dry cast still. I still see him. The Regal Tang still nip at several corals. My Saffron Goby, I noticed the other day, you know, just look at a coral and just go, I'm sure it didn't look like it yesterday, and it's got just like a sort of a patch on it. And literally while I was looking, it's a millie, I've got a little millie up there, which was part of the one that was over there. The one over there is still there. I just chopped it back because it was getting too big. And I put a piece of it over there. And the saffron Goby, I just watched it. I mean, apparently they I don't think they actually eat the coral. I think they just disrupt it and it produces a mucus, and then they like the mucus. That's what I've been told anyway. He just kept sort of, it looked like it's like pecking at it really. And it just, like before my very eyes, I watched about like 5 minutes, and he just made this big white sort of patch on one of the arms of the millie. So I was like, all right, now I know what's doing it. It doesn't really bother me so much. But I've noticed there's a few corals with very similar white patches. Just, you know, it's like 25 mil by sort of 5-10 mil, and they just come up one day, and then over the next few weeks they disappear, and then and I think it's that fish. And I think fortunately I've got enough corals, and you know, it don't really bother me enough to start thinking about removing you. Quite a nice little fish really, but probably not the best choice for a SPS tank if you're concerned about your corals. But these fish are all looking good. Actually did a check the other day, because I normally check all of the fish on a regular basis, and then but sometimes I forget what I've got, and I'm looking for it now because I've got a coral beauty, captive bred coral beauty in this tank, and he's a lucky fish, but very, very cryptic. I mean, he's always, still can't see it. Oh, here he is. Right. Yeah, I mean, he's just, I mean, it's a very beautiful dark blue and a really sort of quite a vivid sort of gold colour on him. But I don't think you'll see him on camera, to be honest. Oh, I've lost him again. He never comes out into the like the water column, even when I feed him. He just, no, I can't see him. Ah, why is he in here? I've got a glimpse of him. Quite nice to have fish like that though, because like I say, I forget I've got him a lot of the time, and then I'll see him and go, oh yeah, yeah, he stays right over the bank. Yeah, he never comes out of the rock work, really. Just spends his whole life at the bottom of the tank, swimming through the rocks. So, I mean, obviously he gets fed because he's been in there for 3 years. Right, I don't really think. Yeah, what I've done, I made up some magnesium. I am about to make up some sodium carbonate, which fucking flooded me room. Right. Yeah, so I put the RO water on to fill up a 10 litre can, and I filled it with about 14 litres. Oh well. And yeah, so I'm going to heat that up with just a normal tank heater and make up probably 8 litres of sodium carbonate. I think I need to make some calcium up, so I'll be mixing this afternoon. Water change still going on. Water change on a spawning tank. I think that's about it really. Yeah. Can you think of anything else? Tank under there I'll look at maybe once a fortnight. I need to get animal crabs in there actually, because there's obviously no fish life in there whatsoever, and the bubble algae, which the tanks obviously take care of in this tank, because it's very rare to see a spot of bubble algae in here. But yeah, in that tank obviously there's nothing that's going to be controlling it, so I think I'll get some emerald crabs for that. Yeah, so then the other thing I did this week is I went up to Finest Aquatics, which is in Widnes, which is about 4 hours north for me. I met Ron from Eden Corals. I think it's 4 hours south of him. Nice shop, quite a big shop actually. A lot bigger than I was expecting. I don't know what I was expecting, but the one thing I've noticed about shops when I travel north to look at, because I went to another one in Durham, I want to say, no I don't, I can't remember what it's called. But that was quite a big shop as well. So just shops down south seem to have quite a small footprint. I guess that's just rental related, isn't it? But yeah, Finest Aquatics, very nice shop. Great fish choice actually, a lot of fish in there. Yeah, it was good. Well worth the visit actually. And I think next time I'm going to go up and look at a biz, because I haven't been there either. And I think that's kind of around the same time for me to get to, about 4 hours. So yeah, little trip up on a Thursday, 4 hours there, 4 hours travelling, and 4 hours back. So 12-hour day. It was good. Right, that's it. I will see you in the next one.